Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. I'm your host, Gym Leader Justin. I got my co-host, Zero. Say what's going on, buddy.
What's up, guys? I'm really excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, this is a top 10 for the old Zero, and we're gonna call this a honorary Hoenn rep, Gallade. As always, we thank everybody for their support on our climb to 1,000 subscribers. Hit that big red subscribe button if it is there for you. Give this guide a thumbs up if you appreciate the how to use guides from us over at the PMC. If you are subscribed, obviously hit that bell button and stay notified every time we put a new video up on the channel. Zero, it's one of your top 10s, baby. Gush to me. What do we got?
So we have the psychic and fighting hard-hitting monster. We got Gallade. This is a Pokemon, as you already know and you stated. I love Gallade. I love Gardevoir. Gardevoir is my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, and this is just like such a cool counterpart to Gardevoir, right?
Yeah, this is, for people that don't know, this came out Gen 4 when they had like half of the entire dex. First time we ever saw it was basically just like not even a Pokedex, it was just evolutions of previous stuff. That's kind of where it all started, was with Gen 4. I like a lot of Gen 4 pokes, but again, I grew up with them, so yeah, I'm a bit biased. Gallade is one where I actually do legit think still holds up to this day aesthetically. I like him. I think he's pretty cool. And that's why we call him that honorary Hoenn type, because he does evolve out of Ralts and Curlia, but he has to be a male specifically. If it's a female, it will turn into a Gardevoir. If it's a male, you get Gallade at the very end of that trio. Pretty cool how they differentiated the evolution there. There is a, what is it, a Dawnstone? Is that what you need?
Yep, Dawnstone. So Justin, I'm gonna segue into the stats and abilities here and talk a little bit about how Gallade has kind of always been just on the cusp of being good, right? Like it's always hovered around like
Are you
or like
you
when it first came out, it was like
pre-bloat.
Right. So it's always been so close to being good because it's got a really great move pool, which we will highlight in a moment.
Yeah, it does.
And it's got a fantastic attack stat at 125. Like back in the day when this came out, that was really good. The problem has always been that this Pokemon is slow. It's got an 80 base speed, and that has always held this Pokemon back because there's so many things with super effective damage that are faster, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. And we will see that one of the popular sets going around is the Scarf set for that exact reason, because base 80, then you Scarf it, and then you hitting it at that max adamant 125. It's pretty good. But we are working with, again, he is psychic, but he's psychic fighting, like Zero said. We do have 3 abilities, but the stats to go out here. We do have 68 HP, 125 attack, 65 defense, 65 special defense, 115 special defense, 65 special attack, and then 80 speed. 518 base stat total, so actually pretty high when you're talking about 570 at the Paradox, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like it's pretty high, and some of these stats aren't even good. Like, and so that's how good his good stats are.
Zero, walk me through his abilities, buddy.
These abilities are important. This is where the glow up happens, okay? We've got Steadfast, which if you flinch, you get a speed boost. Useless ability, if we're being perfectly honest. Justified, if you get hit by a dark move, you get an attack raise. Not terrible, but I skipped over Sharpness on purpose because this is the one we need to spend some time talking about. So Sharpness is a new ability where all slicing moves have been powered up. He has a move pool with a ton of slicing moves, a lot of really good slicing moves, Justin. I think it's time
he has the best move pool for all the slicing moves for sure. As you can see here on screen, we are on Bulbapedia for Sharpness, the ability. So like Zero says, all these quote-unquote slicing moves, and then right here is the list of all the slicing moves.
Okay, so pretty insane ability, right, Justin?
Yeah, dude, I like Sharpness a lot.
So, a fun fact about Gallade, he learns skill swap, so you can give Sharpness to Maushold or Virizion, the Paradox Virizion.
So you can go Gallade King, Gallade Mouse, Gallade Paradox Virizion, what is that thing called? Iron Leaves. Pretty nasty being able to give people these sharpness boosts.
Yep. Hidden tech right there. That's what you guys subscribe to the PMC for.
Jokes aside, I do think HowToUse is going to be pretty insane.
Yeah. All right, buddy, let's move into our first slide. And that's going to be the 3v3 set, the one that we've been featuring on the channel. This is on my try-hard. This is my main squad. Gallade here, this is for the 3v3 set. Using that sharpness ability, I don't think there's a reason to use any other ability for him, like from now until the end of time, unless they give him something.
Yeah, unless you're doing like
crazier.
a specific like niche build, right?
So
I think there's one of two options that are like the easiest, and while also being the easiest to use, the most efficient way to use him is either Focus Sash or Choice Scarf.
Right, and then you're just hitting for massive damage because you're always adamant. I think with the Focus Sash,
yeah, 125 is insane. Like it can't be understated. It's a very good attack stat.
So we're just going max speed, max attack. We're adamant. Terra, I like Terra Dark for the triple stab build, Justin.
Yeah, this is what you got my attention. I'm very happy to see this. You said Terra Dark or Terra Normal. So talk to me about each one first.
Terra Normal, there's a lot of ghost type coverage.
Yeah.
Makes you immune to,
which you're normally weak to.
Right. Makes you immune to like Shadow Sneaks from Mimikyu, from Shadow Balls, from Fluttermane. They can still hit you with Moonblast, but like if you're Terra Normal, you don't take the super effective damage, and he's got a fat special defense stat. So like you're living that Moonblast, and you're returning damage with a
Night Slash.
We'll talk about the moves here. Sacred Sword, insane damage, and it cuts through defense boosts. Justin.
Yeah. That's here, but Sacred Sword. Oh, the chef's kiss among high, bro. Can't miss. 90 base power, still really strong, and cuts through defense boost. Get out of here, Garganackle. Get out of here, Dondozo. I'm just hitting you raw.
Exactly. Then moving on, we got Psycho Cut, just more really strong stab damage with a high crit rate too. Oh, also sharpness boosted. I should mention all of these moves here outside of Shadow Sneak are sharpness boosted.
For sure.
And it's really interesting that this game, it introduced so many dark Pokemon, but it's weirdly enough, Psychic is a pretty solid coverage option, especially with like, Annihilate and Iron Moth running around in this game. So
and Tusk.
And great Tusk. A great shout out. Iron Valiant. You hit those all for super effective damage. So like
hands. Yeah, the list goes on. Like there are so many Pokemon that are actually either neutral for coverage options for the set, as a whole, or just straight up weak to Psychic type still, even with the prevalence of all these new Dark Paradox and Ruins pokes around in the meta. Psychic is like low-key secretly a very powerful, especially when you have a stab option. Most importantly, obviously, when you have a stab option, Psychic's a low-key great tool to have on your set. And usually, like in 8th gen, we were, with like a Gardevoir, we would not go dual stab Fairy Psychic. We would cut off that Psychic there for more coverage.
Then moving on, we've got Night Slash, hits things like Golden Go, hits things like Skeledirge, also hits things like Espathra,
Fluttermane,
some really annoying Pokemon.
Dark is so amazing. It's so good.
And then for the last slot, we've got Shadow Sneak or Leaf Blade. Both amazing options, and I wish I could have every single one of these options. Right, Justin?
Yeah, dude. Leaf Blade gives you a lot of really good coverage in the meta before Terras. And it gives you a lot of really good coverage in the meta after Terras also, because water and ground are both really popular. So and obviously, I'm biased. I'm the grass gym leader here, but truly is a good option. It does have a high crit rate, and it also has sharpness boost. So it's very powerful. But Shadow Sneak obviously makes up for that speed control, especially with a Focus Sash build, and allows you to pick up those clutch kills with that +1 priority.
Yeah, this is part of the reason we're running the Focus Sash on here, is because I like to, if I can get myself in a position to go Sacred Sword and then go into a priority move in Shadow Sneak, that's usually picking up anything in front of me.
Definitely.
That's like almost a guarantee every single time.
That good revenge threat.
So Justin, before we move into our VGC set, let's go over to Pikalytics and let's look at the top 50 Pokemon in Battle Stadium singles. And let's look at Series 2. I know Series 2 is done, but we'll only have the Pokemon who are weak to Sacred Sword being added.
Yeah,
so keep that in mind. So let's look at the top
these
50.
Plus the Ruins.
Yes.
Pretty simple analysis. I like where your head's at.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's look at the top 50.
Yeah, the Flutter Mane, as we said, gets taken care of with the Night Slash and or Shadow Sneak, for especially when those Flutter Manes tend to be sashed sometimes.
Yep.
So having both Night Slash plus Shadow Sneak ensures that you maintain 100% HP in the trade. As we scroll down through all this, Zero, King obviously taken care of, Donnie taken care of. Like we said, if you take that Leaf Blade coverage option, and again, we like the crits there. That's why if you look down on some of these usage, you'll see the scope lens 12% even for singles. A lot of Terra Grass actually, Zero, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's another spin on that triple stab build, I think.
Yeah, that triple stab. I like the dark, too. Iron Hands, like we said, taking care of Espathra, no problem. Claude, that's really good to be able to take care of him. There's so many of these pokes, all the way down. Orthworm, Palmont.
All right, Justin, let's talk about this Pokemon in VGC.
So this set, this is the VGC set, pretty similar to what we had before, but this one's actually going to be Jolly, Focus Sash, max speed and attack, some Spadef. You can go Terra Steel or Terra Normal, same thing as before. It's pretty interesting. The Sacred Sword, Cycle Cut, same thing as before. Shadow Snake, Leaf Blade, same thing as before. But now we have the Protect and Wide Guard coming in. So Protect, I think it's kind of self-explanatory at this point, Zero. But for the people at home, like it's one of those things you almost never kind of want to leave home without, right?
Right, like I'll even pester you, bro. Like you'll be making a VGC team, and I'm like, well, what about Protect? And you're no dummy, you get it, but you're always like, yeah. I mean, we want to get those coverage options in, but Protect
sometimes
is so important on your
man.
offensive pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, having Protect is just so useful for so many options. But then also Wide Guard. He can use that those big wide bladed hands there and put up a shield wall and protect his friends. Protects against things like Earthquake, Icy Wind, Dazzling Gleam, Rock Slides. There's a lot in the meta right now that could potentially be thrown our way that Wide Guard will protect against those spread moves. So that's pretty sick. I don't hate that tech at all.
Yeah, I do want to shout out, you could also go Terra Grass here if you decide to go Leaf Blade, and then you'd be completely immune to Spore as well.
Yep, same thing we talked about in the 3v3 set where you're going for that triple stab option, having the normal stab of fighting in Psychic, then adding the grass there. It also helps you against things like Iron Bundle in the meta. It'll help you against things like Dondozo and VGC, which is everywhere, using the Tatsugiri. So yeah, really, really strong there. Being able to cut him down and having a stab option, then also with sharpness boosted and some crits. Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do think that it is worth mentioning something like maybe even you could go with a Clear Amulet and then Aqua Cutter if you want to handle Arcanines, for example.
I love Clear Amulet on Gallade. I've actually used that set myself. That was one of my shouts, actually. But yeah, no, that's great. I love it. It's legitimately a great item. I also want to give a shout out to Lumberry.
Yep, great option, because see, this is another reason you're Terra Steel, because he's weak to Brave Bird.
Yep.
And they don't carry Flare Blitz for the most part. So you could Terra Steel to resist that, but then you go to Lumberry and you're absolutely becoming this Talonflame killer.
You're immune to Talonflame, essentially.
Right.
And you just Psycho Cut him, and he's dead.
Yeah,
and again, look at that exact scenario. Sacred Sword, don't want to use that against a flying type. Leaf Blade, don't want to use it against a fire type. But Psycho Cut's neutral, and it's stab. You see what we were talking about coverage. Yes, Dark would also fit there, but it's not stab, so it's not hitting as hard as Psycho Cut is.
Yeah, exactly. I think you never leave home in Gen 9 without Psycho Cut.
No, I agree. I was using that as a point of reference to show the audience, look at this set exactly as we were just describing. Boom, there's your coverage. And when he turns Ghost, guess what? Psycho Cut's still the option.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, buddy, let's do the same thing. Want to head on over to Pikalytics, and let's look at the top 40 Pokemon and see how the coverage is against them.
Yeah, so right now, basically this is we're recording this on April 1st, so literally the end of Series 2.
Yes.
So as of Series 2 roundup, Flutter Mane finished first place, 58% of teams. And no surprise, because we used her a lot too. But yeah, then Iron Bundle at 39, then Iron Hand 34, etc., etc. Iron Hands all over the place. Great Tusk, Dango, Donnie, Tots, Dragonite, Moon, King, Mouse. You know what I mean? Like, he just does so well against these.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy we live in a world where Psychic coverage is good?
Oh, lots of Life Orb down here, brother. Life Orb has been the VGC winner for this Series 2, 43% Life Orb. The second highest was Scope Lens. Hey, that's your boy's set. That's what I was going to do my honorable shout out. Of 22, and then Focus Sash at 17. Clear Amulet only at 3%, which is very surprising. I've actually used Clear Amulet the most out of all of these. Clear Amulet and Focus Sash. But I did try the Scope Lens, and everybody's tried Life Orb. That's kind of standard.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, I'm not dissing it.
All right, bro. I think that kind of covers everything. I wish we could sit here and talk about Gallade for like another, hour, because I would definitely do that because, I love Gallade so much, but we got to let the people go, dude.
Yeah, Zero, I can't deny he is a very worthy inclusion in your top 10. Justin approved. Big fan of the Gallade, both aesthetically as well as in the lore and competitively now. Probably the brightest he's ever been able to shine so far in our competitive career in the past, decade or two? Whatever old we are. You know what I mean? When's the last time we saw Gallade this prevalent?
I mean, he was UUBL, but he was never used in OU in 4th gen. You know what I mean? Like, that's the last time he was good, was when he first came out. No, just like you said, this is the best. I think this is the best he's ever been.
And I will say he's 5'3". I'm 5'6". So technically, I'm taller than him. Got him beat.
1, Gallade 0.
So yeah, very fun. Make sure everybody, if you enjoyed this video, please, for us, we appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of Gallade. Of course, let us know what you think of our sets and the stats that we went over. Let us know what you think of Gallade going into Regulation C, as well as going online for 3v3 in the new format with the new Ruin Pokemon. Zero, absolutely. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, man. Let's go play Pokemon.
All right. Smash that like button. Smash subscribe. Ring that bell. Until next time, I've been Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council's adjourned.